Gaming is supposed to be a fun, even therapeutic hobby. Unfortunately, there have been far too many gamers who have paid the ultimate price for their favorite pastime, and in some cases, even caused the death of others. The Nintendo Wii was a hot item in 2007, and many gamers were eager to get their hands on one. A radio station in Sacramento, California took advantage of the interest to hold a contest they called Hold Your Wii for a Wii. In the competition, contestants had to drink a large amount of water without relieving themselves for a chance to win a Nintendo Wii. One contestant, Jennifer Strange, who was 28 and the mother of 3, signed up and successfully drank the 2 gallons of water the contest rules specified. While Strange participated in the contest, she complained to the host that she felt unwell, who mocked her and referenced a release she had signed, absolving them of responsibility. She placed second and received a pair of concert tickets, but no Wii. The promotion was meant as a light-hearted gag, but things took a turn for the tragic when Strange passed away later that night at her Rancho Cordova home of water intoxication.
But only hours after going home, the Sacramento County coroner says she died the apparent victim of water intoxication.
Strange's husband sued the radio station for $16.5 million in compensation, successfully arguing that the radio station had knowledge of the risks and chose to ignore them.
The jury found that Intercom Sacramento's water drinking contest was 100% at fault in the tragic death of Jennifer Strange.
If there's a lesson to be learned from life-ruining games, it's that you have to get up and move around sometimes, because the list of tragedies that arise from sitting on your butt and twiddling your thumbs just keeps growing. A 2015 report in the UK's Mirror detailed the passing of a boy who played Defense of the Ancients, better known as Dota, for 22 unrelenting days. That boy wasn't alone. In 2012, an 18-year-old boy died in an internet cafe in Taiwan after 40 continuous hours of Diablo 3, a second marathon game-related death in Taiwan that year. In 2005, Lee Sung-sop died in South Korea after 50 hours of StarCraft. In 2011, Chris Stannenforth died in England from deep vein thrombosis after playing 12 hours of Halo.
David Staniforth's son Chris was only 20 when he died 3 months ago from a deep vein thrombosis.
Moral of the story, don't take extended gameplay lightly. Even when you're in the thick of the action, remember that you need to get up for a few minutes every so often. Take a break, stand up, get some water, and move around every once in a while during your marathon gameplay sessions.
The message is not to not play the games. The games are fantastic, enjoy the games, but being aware of what can happen.
In 2020, a 12-year-old Egyptian boy suffered a fatal heart attack while playing PUBG Mobile on his phone. The boy was described in investigation documents as being addicted to the game. The official coroner reports attributed his death to a sudden increase in blood pressure due to being overweight. The tragedy elicited an extreme response from the Egyptian officials. One of the most important religious institutions in the country, the Al-Azhar body, issued a fatwa against PUBG, effectively banning the game. While this reaction to the tragedy might seem extreme, PUBG was already on the radar of Egyptian officials after a series of violent events tied to the game. In 2018, an Egyptian high school student fatally stabbed his chemistry teacher in her home. According to a report by Egypt Today, investigators blame the violent act in part on the PUBG video game, which a member of parliament claimed was known to incite violence. A year after that grisly crime, 2 Egyptian teens were playing PUBG in Kuwait when an argument between them ended with one, a 15-year-old boy, stabbed fatally in the heart. While PUBG was again linked to the incident, reporters noted that their argument stemmed from the victim insulting the attacker's heritage. Swatting is a criminal activity, sometimes described as a prank that often has deadly consequences. To swat someone, an outside party makes a fake police report regarding a violent crime in their location to local authorities, with the goal of eliciting a strong police response. A swatting tragedy struck in 2017 after 2 Call of Duty players took their feud off the internet and involved the authorities. Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill argued over Twitter after a bad game cost them a wager. How much, you ask?
Barris thought he was swatting the home of a video game rival after a fight over a bet for $1.50.
Vince threatened to swat Gaskill, who egged him on and provided a fake address in Wichita, Kansas. But that fake address belonged to a real person, who ended up suffering fatal consequences for an online spat he had nothing to do with. Viner passed the address on to Tyler Barris, who made the fake police report. Barris claimed he lived at the location, had killed his mother, and was holding the rest of the family hostage. The police tactical team responded in force. When the house's actual resident, Andrew Finch, answered the door, he was shot and killed by the police. Viner received 15 months in prison for participating in the swatting call. Barris was sentenced to 20 years for making the call. Gaskill, who provided the fake address, was placed on deferred prosecution for his involvement in the crime. A 24-hour charity livestream of World of Tanks came to a tragic end when Brian Vignold died 22 hours into the event. Vignold, who streamed under the name Posh Hybrid, got up from his computer and left the livestream to smoke a cigarette and never returned. The next day, a friend messaged him through Discord, only to receive a response from a Virginia Beach Police Department detective. The detective informed the friend that he was investigating Vignold's death. Vignold's cause of death was unknown for some time, prompting a debate about the safety of marathon streaming sessions. However, coroners later determined that Vignold had died of a cardiac arrest resulting from the steady stream of energy drinks he had consumed during the stream, alongside an accidental overdose of fentanyl. After Vignold's death, his viewers set up a GoFundMe page in his memory that raised over $20,000 to support his family. Slender the Arrival didn't exactly kill anyone, but an obsession with its main baddie influenced a few young girls to do some insidious things. In May 2014, two 12-year-old girls from Waukesha, Wisconsin stabbed their classmate 19 times. They were acting under the deluded belief that they had to kill someone in real life to appease the bizarre villain and antagonist of Slender the Arrival, as well as its low-budget predecessor, Slender the 8 Pages.
40 years in a mental institution, the sentence for Morgan Geyser charged in the Slender Man stabbing case.
Just as disturbing is the case of a 14-year-old girl who set her family's Port Richey, Florida home on fire with her mother and younger brother still inside. The girl was also obsessed with Slender Man lore, and reportedly started the fire in order to gain his favor. If these horrifying stories prove anything, it's that young children can be very impressionable. Sometimes they have trouble separating fact from fiction. In those instances, the consequences can be deadly.